And please, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and also your role at Plymouth Raiders?
Yeah, so my name's Ben. I'm 21. I'm a community coach for the Plymouth Raiders. I do a little bit of everything really. So I go into schools and coach younger children, get them into basketball with the various programs we run. I coach in the Central Venue League and kind of look after that with Phil. I help with the university second team, so I head coach that, and I also assistant coach the Marjon first team, and I also attend the professional teams practices and help them out occasionally with some of their video stuff.
Sounds pretty busy.
Always,
Yeah.
always busy.
So what we'd like to know at the Maths Centre is how do you use your math skills on a day-to-day basis in your role?
We use maths all the time, really. I think it's important to kind of highlight that when I was in school, I actually didn't like maths. Maths was actually my worst subject, and coincidentally, I actually failed maths the first time. And then I was applying to go to university and kind of realised that I actually really needed to get my maths sorted, because maths is obviously so important to everyday life, and there's a lot of hidden maths that I think you don't really think you use, but you do use every day. So a lot of the maths that I kind of use is, especially in this time of year, is a lot of it is kind of figuring out costs of, what we're going to charge for certain programs that we're running. Is it going to be cost effective for us? Are we going to make money on it? How can we kind of best sort of offer a service for the best price? Obviously there's the basics of kind of when you're coaching games, you've got to kind of be able to work out the score and keep track of that, so you're always doing little sums in your head. I'm always kind of looking at in my children's sessions, kind of what ratios I need for staff to children, so all the time actually.
Cool. Just to pick up on, so you've talked about the school sessions and like the staff to student ratio. I'm assuming, so when you go into school, you'll have a set slot for when you need to turn up. So you'll be having to use some timekeeping, but do you have to take your own equipment along with you as well?
So obviously a big one is obviously timekeeping. Obviously we've got to make sure that we're there early. It's a bit of a pet peeve of mine. I hate being anywhere late. So being able to kind of schedule your day and making sure that how long it's going to take you to get from, say, the office to the school is really important. In sessions, I'm not as strict with my timings, purely just because of the fact I believe that obviously if we're doing an activity and it's going well and we're making good progressions, I don't really like to rush it, or because I feel like I've got to move on to the next thing. But I think definitely knowing your timings for your sessions and kind of knowing, right, I should maybe spend 10 minutes warming up and then I've got 20 minutes to do the first activity. That's obviously really important. And then obviously when we get schools come to games, it's obviously really important to know that, if we've got 20 children come in, I know that for me, I could probably coach that on my own, or I'll know that, right, I need an extra pair of hands for that session. Or say if we've got a really busy session before a game where we've got 60 kids, I might need to round up 3 volunteers to help me. So does that kind of answer your question?
Yeah. And then when you're coaching, so you're coaching the first team at the uni, did you say?
Yeah, so I assist with that. So I actually use maths with that all the time. I actually really forgot that. So one of my big roles for that is I actually stat the games. So I have almost like a template that I have, and it has lots of different categories. And I have to, as the game's going on, scan and watch and constantly kind of write down how we're doing. And one of the big ones that we look at off the top of my head is we always look at how our 3-point shots are going. So how many are we making, and how many are we missing? And for each individual, that kind of helps Danny, the head coach, kind of choose, right, this guy's a bit cold at the moment, so we can pull him out of the game, and or this guy's shooting really well at the moment from the 3-point line, so we need to keep him in for a little bit longer. So that's maths is super important for that assistant role for that first team at the uni.
So as you're making all of those notes down and you're keeping track of it as you're going along, so yeah, you're going to be feeding that to the coach in real time, but then is that then going to feed into like when you have a timeout and give a little talk? So do you give people a little pep talk if it's like, oh, your stats are a little bit down?
Yeah, it's something that I try not to do. The players actually kind of come and lead it. So a really good example is Denzel. So Denzel plays on our professional team as well. And Denzel came up to me at the start of the year and he sort of said, look, could you stat my deflections? Because I don't want to be lazy on defense. You know, if I'm going to be at a high level, I want to make sure that I'm not only trying my hardest at the BBL sessions and games, but I want to do it at Bucks as well. So I would stat his, and normally at halftime I would kind of let him know. So, right, Denz, you're on 5 deflections, so keep this up, you keep working. Or if they're a little bit down, I might say to him, look, Denz, you need to maybe be a bit more active on defense now, because you stat. And he looks and he knows straight away when he looks at the sheet and he sees his deflections, he kind of makes that interpretation himself. So just because of the age of those guys, it's more guiding them rather than saying like you need to work on this. So it's more of a visual thing for them to kind of see how they're getting on. But yeah, I do sometimes, especially if we've got guys who are a little less confident, you know, I'll make sure, like, if they're shooting well, I'll say, look, you're shooting the ball really well, keep going. Or if they've missed 2, I'll kind of say, look, you've only missed 2, like, keep going, it's going to drop. So it kind of influences the feedback, and Danny will quite often ask me for like that real-time feedback, like, how's it looking? And it, you know, it kind of guides our conversations as to where it's going.
Brilliant. And then I've got one more question for you that I picked up. So some of the programs you do, are they like one-offs, or are they like, say, a summer holiday program or things like that? So
yeah.
You then schedule lots of multiple stuff in? Yeah.
So obviously we run like numerous different programs throughout the year, whether that be our in-school programs like our Hoops of Health, or whether it's after school clubs, or whether it's, like you said, summer camps and stuff. So when it comes to sort of using maths for that, it's looking at, you know, realistically, like, how many children can we have? Like, what's the maximum amount of people we could have, you know? And especially in this this period, like this COVID period, it's super important, because obviously with the guidelines and stuff, we've got to make sure that we're as safe as we can be. So having those numbers in place is so important. And then there's other things like, you know, going into next season, we've got plans of, we want to add to our program. So it's like our pre-game clinics, we want to kind of make that experience better. So we're having to maybe up the price of that a little bit. So we're having to look at those numbers and kind of figuring out, you know, how are we going to make it profitable and maybe make money on it? And also a big thing for us at the moment is, how can we make money to then fund other pots? So we want to make sure that we're making as much money as we can in certain programs, so that other programs we have, we don't have to charge for. So then in actual fact, we're doing something really good for the community by working really hard in a different aspect. So the numbers side of our programs is so important. It's something that, as I've gotten older and my job role's kind of increased, it's something that I've become more involved with, and I actually really enjoy it. So for someone who doesn't really like maths, I actually quite enjoy it in the basketball side of things. Yeah, I think, and even when I was in school, like I was probably why I didn't really like it. I wasn't the best at maths, and I always struggled with it. And wherever I could, I would always try and relate maths to basketball, whether that be whatever topic we were doing. I would always try and find a way of linking it to something that I liked. But yeah, definitely, I think I still don't enjoy doing maths because I still struggle with it, but if I can relate it to work and kind of what I'm doing, I really enjoy it, because straight away I see the benefit of doing it, and it's helped me get further in my job. And you know, it's so important for life that you've kind of just got to sometimes just suck it up and get on with it. So I actually do enjoy it now, especially all the stats stuff. I really enjoy doing that.
But it's so
And
quick
that's
as
actually-
well. Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually really helped with my maths ability as well. So I definitely enjoy it a lot more now than when I did in school.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Ben. That
Thank
was
you.
really interesting.